All right, here we go. Week 6, about to kick off. So we're going to do our warm-up and our ball handling a little bit together. So the first ball handling workout that you're going to do, you're going to have some sort of like cone or bucket or rock or something that you're going to put between your feet. And then we're going to do crossovers. But then with our crossovers, we're trying to reach to the opposite side of the cone when we're doing the crossovers. And so it's going to force you to kind of lean with the basketball. And so working on kind of moving, shifting your center of gravity, your weight from side to side as you're doing your crossover. So we're going to do that for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to work on our retreat dribbles again with a different drill. So again, you're just going to work with your cone. And so you're going to start about, 5 or 6 feet away from the cone and working on attacking the cone. So when we're attacking with both our foot and our shoulder, moving our body, shifting our body to the side, more sideways to protect the basketball as we're coming in. And then we're retreating back, crossing over, and then going to the other side. And we're going to do that for about 30 seconds as well. Now we're going to stay with the cone and we're going to be dribbling over top of it. So in this one, instead of doing like our traditional crossover, it's more like you're trying to dribble over top of something. So we just got a cone there just to kind of simulate that. And so we're dribbling in front of our foot every single time. So we're switching which foot we're dribbling in front of. But this one is more like a dribble instead of a crossover that we have been doing traditionally. And so just working on a different motion with the ball, working on hand placement, and just different types of dribbles that you might come across when you're playing a basketball game. So then the next drill we're going to do is now we need 2 cones. So we're working on crossing over, and we're working on staying low with our crossovers, and again, working on shifting our weight from foot to foot. And so you're just crossing over, and then with a pound dribble, then you're reaching down to touch the cone. Or whatever you have. So buckets would work really well for this drill. Something a little bit higher. The cones on the ground are a little bit short, so something a little taller might help. Then we're going to get to a 3-cone drill, and so this is going to be working on our layup. So we're working on our agility and footwork a little bit. So you're going over the cones, and so you can kind of see how we're going. So the biggest thing on this one is you're going 2 feet in between the cones, but then on the last cone, notice that you're just putting your 1 foot out. So the left foot goes on the outside of that last cone. And then once you get back to the original spot, then we're going forward. And one thing that we're really working on is making sure that we're not taking a false step. So after we get done, we want to go right into our layup. So we want to go forward with that last step after we're done with the drill and back to the original position. And then we want to go into just a normal layup on the right side. So I'd make 10 right-handed layups, and then you're going to switch over to the left side and do the same thing. So going through the cones, 2 in the middle, 1 on the outside. And then as we get back down to the left-handed layup, make sure that your first step after you finish the 3-cone progression is going to be then a forward step, so going forward into that left-handed layup. And then keep working on that left hand, right? Again, I'd rather you guys be missing with the left hand rather than shooting with your right hand. That left hand is going to be a huge improvement that you can make to become a better basketball player. And last thing to notice is that we're not dribbling in between the cones, so you just keep the ball in your hand and then you're dribbling for the layup. So next we're going to be working on our reverse layups, which is when you're going on one side of the hoop and then actually going to finish it with a layup on the opposite side. And so we're still going to be taking our 1-2 step progression. So when I'm finishing on the opposite side with my right hand, I want to go right, left. And on the left side, I want to go left, right. But then when you're finishing, what you want to notice, so you can see here when we break down the footwork, is that when we go with our right foot is going to keep going forward right here. And then left, you see how we turn towards the hoop on our finish. And then we're going to show a little bit of a full speed stuff. So you're starting on one side, finishing on the other. Make sure you turn that inside foot towards the backboard. It's going to be easier to finish than on the other side. We still want to use the backboard. We still want to use that square. So as we gather, so the gather is when we pick up our dribble. So we pick it up. On our pickup, we want to get our eyes up on the square, and we want to hit that top right corner of the square. And I want you to shoot 10 on either side. And try your best with this. This can be a challenge if you've never done it before, so just keep working with it, and the more you can work with it, the better you're going to get. The last drill of the day is going to be a shooting drill, and so you're going to pick 2 spots, whatever 2 spots you want to shoot from. And so in here you can see that he's picking 2 spots, one that's a little bit easier and one that's maybe a little bit more of a challenge. And then you're going to shoot until you miss at each one, and you record how many you can make in a row from each spot. And so you just keep shooting from the same spot until you miss and record how many you're making in a row. And then it's just going to be a little bit of a challenge against yourself. So each spot's going to have a different record, personal record that you're going to have as you're going through. And then when you miss, you just transfer over to the other spot, and then you try to beat the record at the other spot. So for example, you could have a record of 4 at one spot and 2 at the other, and then every time you're going to that spot, you're just trying to beat that personal record that you have. And then you can do this drill more than one time throughout the week, and we can just do it more and more and try to beat your records that you had. Or you could pick different spots. It's really up to you, whatever you want to do to challenge yourself. You could even choose more than 2 spots if that's something that you want to do, and you can pick whatever 2 spots that you want. So ultimately, just make sure you're having fun with it and keep working hard. Proud of each one of you guys. Keep it up.